Goody 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 everyone, this is Dayhawk bringing to you my take, my review on Kamen Rider Revice episode 17. Well guys, after 1 week's hiatus, we're back! And this is a great episode in my opinion, because there was a lot of a backstory, a lot of interesting things stirring around in this episode, particularly Julio. I'm not saying this episode revolved it around him, but we had an interesting backstory. And so now that the Dead Man cult is all but scattered, and Gifu is still in the Feinx base getting experimented, they will do whatever it takes to get him back. But for right now, Feinx is experimenting on him, and Hirumi had the right idea that we should destroy it, and we have a new character in the game, the director of Feinx. And he tells everybody that our main objective right now is to kill what remains of the Dead Man cult. And they're all in agreement. And apparently the government is the ones that gives the orders to Feinx through the director. Because the director mentioned that the government wants them gone by any means necessary. And we get to see Hirumi in his commander suit. At least they got rid of the other one. My god, at least they listened. They got rid of it. But me personally, Hirumi being the commander, I don't see him in that role. I feel like he was put in there because who else is next in line? Because I don't see Hirumi being the commander. Maybe he will grow on me, but I just don't see it. George and the director, yeah, they give off this this impression that they don't like each other, and something about the director seems really odd. Especially towards the very end where everybody leaves and he is alone with Gifu. It's like he's planning something evil. But we don't know that yet. Sakura still... Okay, so last episode she gets a phone call from the son of the crazy stalker family. She went inside the house, an empty house, and she goes into the basement where she sees this eerie green light, and we all assumed that she went inside the basement, but apparently in this episode she checked it out and she just left, saying that, you know what, I'll come back to you later. I mean, I wouldn't blame her, especially it's in the middle of the night. While she was wondering what the hell was going on, it looked like a scene from Goosebumps, Stay Out of the Basement. And so, Sakura is there in the spa, and next thing you know, this kid, this high schooler, appears out of nowhere asking where is the Feinx Consultation Center, which I prefer to call the quote-unquote Angel Investigations. And the reason he came by is because he saw Julio on the news as being one of the 3 lieutenants of the Dead Man cult. But he says Can you please save him? Mean Julio? Sakura says. No, that's not his name. His name is Takami Go. So he had a name before. So his name was Go, but it got changed to Julio after he joined the cult. And then we get a backstory between both Julio and his friend, telling the story of how they used to be best friends until his friend betrayed him. But here's the thing though, like, do you guys consider giving someone a card just like Julio did in the flashback and tearing the card up, is it considered a betrayal or just somebody who's pretty effed up? Because for me, I would consider it as a betrayal if he were to tell everybody Go's deep dark secret only he and his friend know, because they shared it in confidence. That to me is definitely a betrayal. But I don't know, to me that particular scene it was a little bit weird. If the scene were his friend telling it his deep dark secret, then it would be considered a betrayal. But that's either here or there. And we all know why Julio is always angry and upset with Olteca, because he can't stand betrayal. And if he sees him again, he's going to kill him. And Angelica and Julio is somewhere on the top of the building, and they want to rescue their master, but there are two demons without an army, while Olteca is gathering the last cult members, well, what remains of the cult, together to form a brand new cult under his leadership. And of course, he has the same goal. He wants to rescue Gifu from Feinx. And he has the Gifu stamp to, as it's like he has the Gifu stamp, so he is really dangerous right now. And meanwhile, Ikki wants to save the three dead mans, convert them, turn them back into humans. And the reason being is because he thought after defeating the other three, he were to save them, save their human forms, but it didn't happen. So he ended up killing them. And we all know all their energies went inside Gifu, so it's only a matter of time before he fully resurrects himself. Which I still believe in my theory about their father and Gifu being connected. Because why else is Papa-san's children be able to transform with demons, and Hirumi having a tougher time transforming, and his body is failing him, because we all know he doesn't have a demon. If he has a demon, then he would have no issues fighting in his rider form. But for right now, Hirumi is having a tough time transforming. So George offers him training and he has a new V stamp. So the training is to help both Ikki and Vice not only to improve on their friendship, but their fighting style, and be able to adapt using the new V stamp powers. So during the whole simulation in the training room, they end up fighting themselves, and at least until Olteca strikes and all that. Um, and then the three siblings have a little talk, saying that, well, Sakura met Julio's best friend. He told me his story and he wants me to help him save Julio. And of course, Ikki is all in agreement with that. But Daiji, on the other hand, he thinks that there's no redemption, there's no saving those three. There's no way. Um, they're so far gone. I don't think they're worth saving. But Ikki and now Sakura believes that they can be saved. They just need to find a way to save them. And Daiji, don't get me wrong, but when you were possessed by Kagero, Feinx wanted to kill you. And without Ikki and I think Sakura as well, no, but Ikki, mainly Ikki, then you would have been killed. Let's be honest here, man. I want to be on your side, Daiji, but with dialogue like that, I mean, you nearly got killed by your own comrades. So, chill out on that. I would have hoped that with him being possessed with Kagero, made him realize that maybe, I should ease off and maybe believe that people who join the cult become demons. They can be saved. But as of right now, he just feels that Olteca, Angelia, and Julio are beyond saving. So they're in a disagreement right there within the three. So Olteca is resurrecting the cult, uses the guild stamp to turn one of the cultists into a full-blown demon. Ikki takes the new V stamp and goes where Olteca is. And so Ikki, so all Feinx, Ikki, Sakura are there, they're fighting, and Julio pops out and attacks Olteca, saying that you're a traitor. They're yelling out traitor every time they fight. Sakura tries to save Julio and just make him stop and say, hey, your friend is here and he wants to talk to you, but he's not going to listen. But he starts to remember things about his past. That's why we see in the flashbacks, like, we see bodies, but we don't see the eyes because they're all censored. And then once he started to remember, those censors are trying to, they're gone, and you get to see the eyes of Julio and his friend. So that's gonna, that's gonna be interesting in the next episode, how Julio is gonna react seeing his friend for the first time since he joined. So it's gonna be an interesting confrontation. So Ikki has mastered the new V stamp. So he has the power of fire, while Vice finally has his new armor, his new suit, and he represents ice. And they managed to defeat the demon, like I said. And we all assumed that the human was saved, but unfortunately, the human has been dead soon after she transformed. And Olteca is throwing this at Ikki's face, and that with your powers, you cannot save anybody, which ticked Ikki off, and he just runs and attacks him. But we all know what's gonna happen. we all know what's gonna happen there. It's gonna get stopped. So yeah. Uh, Anything else? I think that's it. If I miss anything, please do comment. If you like it, please give it a like. If you dislike it, give it a thumbs down. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Yes. There's one thing I noticed too. I remember just now. When when Ikki and Vice were in the training room, you see George in the real world protecting their bodies. And I've noticed that a couple of times George was smacking Vice in the head and smacking it on his ass. And I find it to be very hilarious because we all know that George hates Vice. He hates Vice with a passion. And he will do whatever it takes just to throw darts at him. Because if you remember back when they got the other V-stamp, Ikki got a new form while Vice is stuck with his regular form, and he had to make his own shield out of the shells of that blue and purple egg. And so I just don't cross George, man. Don't cross George. So he mastered the volcano V stamp. That's great and all. And to me, do you think, in your opinion, in you guys' opinion, do you think that getting a new V stamp this soon, especially after obtaining a new V stamp before, do you think it's too soon, or you think that it's time appropriate, like it's time for a new V stamp? What do you guys think? I'm curious. What else? Oh yeah, Papa-san is nowhere to be found. He's still injured apparently, and poor Boo is doing Papa-san's work. Other than that, I think that's it. But thank you guys for sticking around. Like I said before, give it a like if you like it. Give a dislike if you don't like it. Did I miss anything? And if I did, feel free to comment down below. And let's have this conversation. And also overall, what do you think of Revice so far? Do you think it's pretty good? Do you think it's okay? Do you think that it needs a little bit of work? Do you think it sucks? I need to know that too, guys. I need to know that too. Right now, so far, it's pretty good. There are some things that need to be a little bit tweaked, especially I don't like the suits, but I will grow into it. But I don't see myself getting a figure arts figure. Maybe Evils. I do see myself getting that, but other than that, I think that's it. I mean, and one other thing before I go, they got rid of Hiromi's stupid coat from the last episode. They got rid of that and replaced it with the original commander's suit. So I'm happy about that. Alright, guys. I rambled long enough. I'll see you all on the other side of oblivion. Johnny!